Hi, everyone. I'm Erin Barker, the Executive Director of the Story Collider, here to give you a quick and dirty introduction into the art of storytelling for you, the volunteers for Letters to a Pre-Scientist. So we at Story Collider believe in the power of storytelling. We believe in the power that it has to reveal the humanity behind science. We believe in the power that it has to change our perception of who can be a scientist and who can have a voice within science. And we believe in the power that it has to show us the science in our own lives every day. So, because of this belief, what we do is we host live events around the US, Canada, and UK in which scientists and all kinds of other folks share stories about how science has affected their lives. We also share these stories through a popular podcast that comes out every Friday. And we have an education program in which we hold workshops and do other types of trainings for scientists and other STEM professionals who want to integrate storytelling into their work. So today we are going to talk specifically about how to come up with ideas of stories that you might share in your letters to your letter recipients. Now, the way we define stories at Story Collider is just like this: believable characters experiencing meaningful events who must cope with the consequences. That is the way we define story at Story Collider. And the reason why we believe so much in the power of stories is that research has shown that narratives are more interesting, more understandable, more believable, and more persuasive than other forms of communication. And one of the big reasons for this is because of this concept called transportation that Dr. Melanie Green studies. Transportation is essentially the mental state that you're in when a story is taking up your entire mental world. So if you've ever been so immersed in a book that you haven't heard somebody calling your name, or if you've ever been so into a movie that you don't notice the time go by in the theater, you are transported into that story. And a very cool thing happens when we're transported into a story. Our emotions start fluctuating up and down with those of the main characters in the story. And as a result of that kind of emotional engagement with something, we are more likely to share the story with other people later if we're transported. We're more likely to return to that story again and again, and we're more likely to dig deeper into the subject matter of the story on our own later on. And that's the kind of impact that we want to have with your letters. So today we are going to talk about what stories you might share with your letter recipients, how you might get started telling a story, and we will begin with events.